Okay, let's see when we'll be live. I would say we're live. Don't mind the resolution here, it's kind of wonky, but that should sort itself out very soon. Although right now it seems to be fine. For me it's kind of wonky, so yeah, it's not a new single game with the Frightens. I have just finished a game with the Grokken. I won't play those today, or well, right now. I feel more like Kashif, and in case you're wondering, I'm not going to do the Leisure Forest strategy, although I will probably talk about it a bit and see how it'll go. So those are the game settings for today. We'll start as usual with small treasury, giving the computer a large treasury. We'll not go beyond low aggressiveness because I find the game is kind of bugged in that regard. And what you often end up with is all the AIs going weird. Like if you go with very high, they will pretty much start off the game by demanding all of your money or declaring war on you. And you can't give all of your money to 6 other kingdoms. That's just not possible. It also makes for a very poor financial decision. We'll go with all the research stuff here. I'm going to give the AI 10 natural resources to work with and hope they won't fuck up. Okay, so yeah, this is the game. I've also done something else here, which is I have in fact disabled the music because my last stream was okay, pause game quickly. My last stream was actually seized, or the ad revenue for that was seized by well, the guy who made the music for Seven Kingdoms 2 for according to YouTube a 37-second clip. Like they matched 37 seconds of music in 4 hours. Like the entire stream was 4 hours, and then the 37-second clip of music allowed them to seize the entire ad revenue, and I'm not on board with that. Okay, it's just not going to happen. And I guess I'll wait and see if somebody else joins this stream or if somebody starts watching before I'll go into the leisure defense strategies. Now, as those of you who played this game for any longer time are aware, the Kashif have a pretty gnarly strategy, or they have a pretty gnarly set of technologies which allow them to basically plant a forest of death. Which sounds impressive, and it kind of is. It's really fun to do, and if you want to play a very long game, then go knock yourself out. But we don't want this right now, and I'm actually aiming for something a bit quicker. Like what I usually do is I get the regular leisure plants, and okay, yeah, I was right with my guess here. I was kind of hoping we don't get to, or we don't have to. We have enough life force for that lair. We will be drowning in life force soon enough, mind you. Like this lair is going to be sold. Look at that, he just created a town. Yeah, that lair is going to be sold. In fact, we might do that right now. Yeah, I think we're in start. He's not building that yet. We don't want to sell the wrong lair. I want to sell this one. First, I'm going to sortie the commander here. And then we'll move towards here. I also wonder if I'll get to 200 skill with my all high this time. Would be interesting to know. Might have been a bit late. I could have actually sent them earlier. And I guess I'll show you some tricks later on, or maybe not. There are some things that I want to point out that I'm not sure if I've shown in the Let's Play series. Okay, now let's blow all our life force or all our resources onto that one more Frighten we can breed. And we'll hopefully have them ready by the time the On High arrives. Because we're low on resources and we need to get to we need to get some more right away. Well, we still have like a few more days or even months worth of money. But it's certainly not really working out for us without enslaving a town. So which one has... We'll start with Chisu, simply because it's... let's see what we have. Not sure what that is. That could be a Norman. No, it's really a Celt. Yeah, it's Celt. That's a Mongol. We have a Roman. We have a... that sounds like a Norman. And that should be a Persian. And that's so great. We have another Carthaginian. Now, all the times I get the Carthaginians, I hate that. Okay, we have... I think it's about time, but we can't really delay much further. Let's have the All High retreat at 50% health, which he hopefully won't reach at all during the course of this. He may, but right now we do want to be careful. Now with the Grokken it's a bit more difficult at the game start, because those are very expensive. They cost like, I think 800 gold per unit. And that's just a ridiculous amount. I mean, you see how much gold you have, so you can only, or you have to do your first raids with about 4 units, and that's not gonna get you very far. It's possible, you can always enslave cities with your first batch of units, if you spend all your resources on it, and you can also outperform most infantry on the field. One of the crucial mistakes the AIs usually do is they send in their units. Could you? Yeah, thank you. They send their units in against fortresses. And against the fort, we'll totally die. They'll obliterate us. Especially if we don't have a full layer yet. Against the fortress, you will die. Period. That's all I can say about it. But in open field, your units hit harder and they have more health than the AI troops, so you should not have any issues taking those out. That may have been a mistake. Now something else the developers actually relatively recently fixed, I think it was even this or late last year, late 2016, was that you now have a random chance of getting new Frightens randomly bred. As in, every time a lair has a commander and is not fully staffed with Frightens, so that they don't have a full squad, there is a small chance that you just randomly get a new Frighten. Sometimes it's kind of annoying because it can also happen when the squad is returning and the commander has returned, then his last soldier hasn't yet come back, and then there's a new soldier equipping his spot. So that's a bit of a downside. But aside of that, it's very, very useful, especially with Grokken and all that. And I think it helps to offset the early game, or it helps to offset the frightened disadvantages at the early game, which right now would be that we can't have more soldiers. We can't create more soldiers because we can't afford that. Yet we will soon be able to, and as soon as my troops are more in a fighting shape, I will have them attack. I'm so glad the Skype thing doesn't even show there. I will have them attack Galala here, the Egyptian town, which seems to not have any kingdom attached to it yet, so there is no Egyptian king, which means we can take our sweet time with that. to a degree. Oh, it does show. Oh, great. So I'm sorry about that. I should have probably disabled Skype or put it on busy. I forgot about that. I do apologize. Now, yeah, we still don't have any viewers, which is unsurprising because I didn't really announce that stream. I should really get into a kind of a schedule for that. I haven't yet. And I'm probably, I don't know, I'm currently planning to do it like maybe twice a week. Maybe more often. I'm also considering to move most of the Let's Plays into the live stream format because, for one, I really enjoy it. It's quite fun to actually be able to interact with you directly and not just wait for the comments to pour in and, well, I say pour in, they barely trickle in for my videos, but you get the point, right? It's just fun to have this almost instantaneous. I mean, there's still a few seconds of delay between you seeing what I do and also often me checking the live chat because I'm kind of focused on the game, and I also can't really type in the live chat right now because then it'll tab out of my game and it'll go all weird. So I'll have to see if I can find a solution to that. But I will generally try to have an eye on it every now and then and check how things look there. I also believe we are ready to take on Galala here. And one of the problems I usually end up with is that, actually we'll read one more. By the time I take on the city, by the time I get my second city, somebody will declare war on me. It is very reliable, it generally happens, and generally sucks because, for example, well, just about that time, so my troops are kind of tired, they're kind of injured, they're pretty weak, and then somebody declares war on me. Which, granted, is fair timing, but it's still annoying because they declare war on me when I really don't have the time and the mood and the resources to defend. And the only thing you can do about that is, well, you could just not attack the city, but you kind of have to. So that's a downside. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Also, it's still kind of important to really pay attention to how many squad members we have and then how they're doing. Because we want to keep those guys alive for now. Right now, every crew we lose is a pretty big hit to us, especially if it's one of the more talented leaders, which we have at least one, I saw earlier. And I actually like the sort by or the loyalty show thing. It actually gives you a lot of very, very useful interfaces and tools, which it doesn't really bother to explain very well. At least I don't remember it explaining those in the various tutorial tips and other methods. But it does have a lot of those, and they all have their reasons for existing, and it's just an overall well-designed game. I mean, it doesn't look very pretty anymore compared to modern standards. It doesn't look pretty. I'll freely give you that. But it's an amazing game, and it's always fun to play. Oh, come on, you don't want to do that. You don't want to fight with me over 14 people. 19 people. You do want to fight with me over 19 people. And you're building that for right where I would like to build my second lair, so that thing has to go sooner or later. And I'm going to admit I prefer sooner rather than later. So what we'll do here is once this fort has been built and my Frightens have been bred, I will declare war. Actually, we're not going to wait for that long. We are going to war. Because a king is a very juicy target. Kings generally pay a lot of money when you kill them. And we might actually hit Chizu here. That town will... yeah, it will receive a decent hit to its population, because we are going to recruit a Mongol citizen. The simplest way of getting that is by simply having attacking a town, and eventually somebody will come out and join you. We could also wait for the enemy to dispatch some troops, but I don't like doing that either. Okay, stop that. I want all of you but one. And by the way, you can just essentially harvest your citizens like that. Once the town is enslaved, they won't start lobbing stones at you anymore. But what we really want to do is we want to so you could get some life energy from that. What I want to do is recruit one citizen. As you do that, eventually somebody's going to join you. I'm going to go down to 15. If somebody hasn't joined me by then, I'll just have to leave it. It may take a while. You see the peasants are still slowly decreasing. Come on, I just need one. Fine. You usually get one out of that. Okay, but we kill the king. And that was remarkably fast. Okay, do we have the resources for a second lair? We do, great. Put it right next to the first one, like so. I would have liked to promote this guy, but I didn't have the chance there, so I won't. Is that... yes, that is in fact an enemy general, an animal. It's not an animal, it's an enemy general, and we want to kill him. Primarily so he doesn't get that scroll. I mean, he didn't yet get to build the Seat of Power, so we do have an advantage of him there. But we want to make sure that he won't get to build it at all. So he must not get the scroll back. And I need to somehow get my hands on a Mongol civilian. Or just any Mongol will do, but I would have liked a civilian anyway, because it's always a good thing to have like an inn or two at the beginning. And that's actually one of the downsides of the... Also, look at the random breeding there. I think I got one of the random tritons there. Anyway, back on target. That's actually one of the downsides of the Leisure Forest thing. And hello, second viewer. So now I will do what I promised, and I will tell you about the Leisure strategy and the counter to that, which is probably more interesting. Now that's something I've tried in a multiplayer games before. The AI never does it. They hardly ever bother with building those. Actually, I've never seen them do it, which is kind of a waste. But what I can tell you about it is there are several disadvantages to it. Now, obviously, the advantage is, and so long, second viewer. Obviously, the advantage is that you get your automated turrets essentially, which will take out most of the enemies for you, ideally before they even reach your fort or your lairs. There are, however, also disadvantages, and they are quite massive. And I'll tell you why. First off, the wild leisure, unlike the regular leisure, is considered a neutral unit. So it does not count as a unit of your kingdom, so everything it kills will not give you resources. And I think that's kind of a big deal, because even though those will kill a crap load of units, you will not get those resources. You will not get the life points. You won't get the money. You will be able to harvest the artifacts. Also, thank you, Skype, for showing up again. You will be able to essentially harvest artifacts, which is kind of nice to have. I mean, honestly, I love that about the forest strategy. You will get your little forest, and it will be crammed with artifacts. And you just have to grab them every now and then. Which, again, is just glorious. Also note that having a second auto here will essentially drop the tributes paid to us. I mean, we kind of dropped the tributes paid to us here, but having the auto certainly didn't help. Because you will end up with a certain degree of let's destroy that. You will end up with less average leadership skill in the layers. But I prefer to have at least one auto in here anyway, so we at least get some tribute rather than nothing. So yeah, never have all your troops attached to one layer pillaging at the same time. It is fun, mind you, but you shouldn't do it all the time. Also, yeah, I was about to talk about the additional strategy. Look at that. Actually, come back. We want to kill that. I do not like this guy to have his stuff constantly near my stuff. Okay, yeah, the additional strategy. So that's the first downside is you don't get the resources. Which means you're missing out on a lot of resources, because unless you actually go around and meet the enemy somewhere in the middle, where you may get hurt by those lichens as well, and they will eventually target you. If you attack them, they will target you. Yeah, you won't get a resource, and you won't be able to have such a large army. Also, if you want to completely rely on the protection of those plants and of that forest, you will either have to start off with quite a lot of them, so you have a lot of them to begin with, so they spread quicker, or you have to wait for... Yeah, kill that. Or you have to wait for them to actually... Is that another one? Or you have to wait for them to actually... yeah, we have to wait for them to spread out and to go places, and to basically envelop the places you want to take over, or at least get close enough so things that attack you will be in their radius. The second big downside is that they won't allow you to build anything in that forest either. So if you have heroes joining you, they will be attacked. If you have civilians joining you, they will be attacked and most likely killed. You can't have inns or any other structures than Karshiv lairs and, well, your own lishors nearby. That's it. That limits your potential options very, very much. You may not feel like doing it because you're pretty much set within your forest, but it does limit you quite a lot. There are ways to get in there, because the lishors are considered neutral. If you have, for example, a spy and give him the neutral code, like if you declare or if you paint him neutral, you can grab artifacts and even scrolls of power. It's not a king, okay. You can grab that. But at the moment you actually make him change his color, especially if you have a civilian spy. He will die, but you can still grab like scrolls in the forest by just putting him onto them and then having him switch color as you go along. Also, we might want to secure ourselves here just a bit. So yeah, you might want to secure yourself. What was that? Right, you can put him on that scroll and have him switch color to whatever. You might want to go back. Damn, we already lost one. We already lost one. That's a shame. And there's a second and third one down. Yikes, I didn't expect them to be that well defending. So yeah, that's a trick for getting stuff out of that. I think we'll retreat. I think we will retreat from that. That didn't go too well. But we made some life points. Yeah, breed more. Yeah, so that's a thing. And now for the counters. And obviously you can outnumber them and you can just outpower them if you play reasonably aggressive. It's actually quite easy to do so. Second option is you can attack those plants, and if you do it in time, you will only have to deal with one or two at a time, and that is doable. Most certainly is doable, at the very least. I'm always surprised he doesn't grab that scroll of power before he builds a 4. Are we being chased? Well, have at thee. They're not protected by their 4 here. They only have a limited range, so we can just take out the enemy safely here. Alright. So yeah, I'm getting that. Counters to the Lizard Forest. Yeah, attack it in time. That is, if you play on a map that has that is explored and you know where they are. If you see trees cropping up in surprising numbers, then you might be in for the little treat. And you probably don't want to be that. It's not the state most people want to be in. So yeah, attack them in time and in sizable numbers. If you have well-trained troops, they should be able to take out at least one before you might want to have them retreat. It's also something that you can use to keep larger armies busy. And I think it'll also give you a lot of frightened battling score, so that's kind of cool as well. Look at that, we're wrecking his kings. Can't have that many of them left. Is that the new king? No. I suppose the king is somewhere over here. Okay, back to topic. First possible option, counter it early by attacking. They're kind of expensive, so it's quite a big deal to kill the first or the seedling plants, so to speak. Second option is especially easy if you're frightened yourself and you have a bit of money, because they're neutral units, you don't have control over them. And one of the fun options I tried last time when somebody tried to pull that trick on me in multiplayer was build an inn. Like, get yourself a human civilian. I don't care how, just get one. Build an inn. And once you have that, recruit somebody with Heimdall's Horn, which lets you summon a Frighten. And use it up, and repeat that until you get a Karshiv unit. And then use that to build a lair, and then just breed Karshiv, and basically out Karshiv them. You can safely raid them in their lair. You can safely raid the Karshiv in the forest. Nice try with the scroll there. Oi. Yes, sortie. Ooh, there's a general. There is a general. Will we get his troops to surrender? Yes, we do. Wonderful. Now get that scroll and prevent the soldiers from reaching it. Perfect, we have the scroll of power. So we don't need that soldier anymore. While it's certainly fun to keep a few soldiers around, there is no benefit unless they're actually good leaders. And I prefer to have decent leaders. And yeah, the Little will not attack any Kharshiv units. That's the one thing they won't go for. Neutral and Kharshiv. So yeah, just get your own Kharshiv. You can actually use those as lumberjacks and send them in to kill the enemy and to raid and then to take out the plants on individual bases. Okay. Do not attack that. We probably want to have some peace treaties sent out. Mind you, the enemies won't care for those. They will still attack you out of the blue when they feel that's the cunning thing to do. But you will be reasonably safe from at least the random wars, because it happens every now and then, especially if you have units with ranged and area of effect attacks, like the Grokken, for example, that one projectile goes somewhat stray and we won't sell food this time. One projectile goes stray and you start a war, and then all of a sudden you have a war with somebody you could not necessarily take on, or you just have a war too many. It's very easy to get, because unless you have a very, very safe bet and you have a very strong standing in the world, any war beyond the first is one too many. Again, that's not the case if you have ridiculous amounts of spare units and of kind of idle fours which have full squads and nothing to do with them. In that case, yeah, you can knock yourself out, go to war with whatever you like, but in general, you want to keep it to one war at a time. It just makes it a lot easier to fight and a lot easier to stay on top of. Right now we only have 2 layers, and we'll build some private littles soon enough, like some of our kingdom. Yeah, also second option is if you have the resources to do that, it's bloody expensive, and you have a Kharshiv lair, a neutral one, you can't just take that, build one of your lairs next to it, and have a good order in it. It will cost you a fortune, as I said, because, well, it's bloody expensive. You essentially buy all those units at once, but you'll get a half-decent squad of Kharshiv. Damn, we'll lose another one. You get a half-decent squad out of it, and a strong auto, and obviously the lair. So it's certainly advantageous to do that. And yeah, once you have that, you can use those as usual. Now, since the enemy will have less combat practice, less combat experience than your troops will, you should be able to, given you send some experienced enough troops, you should be able to, look at that, save at the last moment. I'll try to limit it here. You should be able to, damn it, lost that one. You there, come on. Ah, that's a bit fiddly. You can't turn the map, so I can't select somebody who is behind another one. Is that a king? No. Just a general. Right, I just returned all the Kharshiv that I just actually wanted to send home. But they do seem to recover quite fast, which is pretty cool. I like that a lot. Where are you going? That's still a bit of a pathfinding bug. Sometimes your troops just wander off into the distance. And there goes my friendly treaty. I don't know why. I mean, I have been a very, very, very good neighbor so far. I say neighbor, not exactly neighbor. We are somewhat close, and actually we are neighbors now. So I think I've been very, very good as a neighbor. And I have to keep better track of my units here. Don't want to keep losing them. Okay, you go back. This place will probably start rebelling soon enough, and that's all I want. That's literally all I want. Actually, no, let's keep destroying his force at least. Gives us some more practice. We will have 1, 2, 3. We can't afford 4, sadly. And I'll try not to attack any civilians, which will come in handy later. I mean, we will probably enslave 1 or 2 more towns, so I should not have that many reservations against attacking civilians. I'm still trying not to go with any kingdom-owned civilians, because those might become rebels later on. And especially as a frightened rebels of a village that you have nation-wise are a good thing, because they may join you and they will rather live in slavery than live in the whatever kingdom they were in before. So they may actually join your villages, which is nice. Let me just drink something very quick. Great. So, yeah, let's just check the map here. He has now stopped recruiting units from there, mostly because loyalty has hit the floor. What's that place doing? Not too well. And we have the first war, so we kind of have entered mid-game, where there have been, or when there are the first larger scale wars. With the enemy having larger treasuries to begin with, they will usually end up with, or the map will very quickly be divided among them. Like, you will generally have very, very few sparse villages, and very few neutral villages to take over. And for example, by the time you have a general, or by the time a hero of a certain nation joins you, there may not be any towns for him left to take over, unless you want to risk fighting in the AI, which is a real risk. It can really backfire hard on you. Okay, I think I'll do that. And if it does, it really does. Could actually get away with only those 2 places, or those 2 cities here, but I don't want to. Okay, you know what? I think we're ready for another raid. We want to, in this particular case, get Karakorum. We'll probably start with the Spy Academy, which is in need of being taken out. Look at those Normans go. Also, something nice about the Karsh, which I missed when I played the Grokken, is that they are actually faster than than most human infantry. Let's start with that. It also keeps popping out spies, which is weird. Certainly an unusual choice, in my opinion. At least we got rid of Tengri, which is great. Now the next god I would like to be rid of is actually Baal-Hamon. I'm not sure when that will be, we'll get to do that. But since slave towns is a big issue, slave towns are very, very small, because the act of enslaving actually involves killing of most of the population. Um, okay, maybe we'll get to fight out of the range of that 4. If we still go back, and attack them now, we might be... Yes, we are out of the fortress range. That's a little tricky and pull off sometimes. Just stay out of their range, and then you can fight the enemy essentially in the open field without any meddling force. Did we just start another war? No. Yeah, you see, as soon as we get too close to it, they will start attacking us. But we essentially don't care. I'll just go around here and give my troops some more exercise. No. Go. Actually, screw it. We'll attack the... No, we'll not. We have too many units still yellow. So we'll attack that quickly. Just have him waste his money. Then we'll take out the Spy Academy and then the... that thing. Actually, no. Ugh. At least it didn't get any citizens. I mean, it didn't get our buildings, so that's okay. And it seems like that was not Balhamon's doing. Because in that case, it would have that would have been a second earthquake by now. And weirdly enough, I've never actually managed to get all these scrolls of power. It's a bit of a shame, really, because I'm still a real hoarder of those. I love collecting those. And in my last game, I got 4 of them. That's I think my top is 5 out of the 6 I could get. I usually play with only 6 Human Kingdoms and 1 Frightened, so yeah, that's the top of the line there. Sadly, there is no way to get more scrolls of power into the game. Okay, I think we got at least 1 unit level up to purple, which is just when they hit a certain level of health. Now, since we still have relatively unexperienced units, it's kinda hard to wait a minute. You need to return. Maybe you needed to as well. Did we already lose somebody, or did we not go in with a full squad here? He didn't even have a general here. I'm insulted. I'm actually insulted. Could we make sure not to attack the Romans? That would be greatly appreciated. Also, at least we totally clicked next to the place we wanted to go. Okay, military, 14 soldiers, you're mobile. And there goes one of our scrolls, because the Persians have surrendered, which does not transfer the scroll over. That's a real shame. Yeah, I never... I think I only once or twice got the total of 6 scrolls out of the enemies. You usually have some kingdom giving up earlier without the king having ever died, or you usually have like some other problem. Okay, now I expect that kingdom to surrender soon as well, because while he still has 2 cities, and he still keeps recruiting people from here, while he still has 2 cities, those... well, he only has like 1 more fortress over here somewhere. Let's check the nation map. He doesn't have any other cities. He has a 4 over here, which he's likely to turn the city soon. I can't attack that with the beat-up troops I have here. Could attack with those if they were if they were stronger and healthier, and a full squadron. But they might actually recover enough on the way there. Oh, he also has this town, which has no 4 and no generals. Why is loyalty here still increasing? That's kind of weird. It shouldn't be, but it will drop soon enough. I think if a city has been loyal or has been part of the kingdom for a long time, it's more difficult to have their loyalty drop. If it has had a king for a long time, or a strong general nearby for a significant time, it may retain, or it may kind of retain its loyalty a bit longer. But all in all, it's still a status you want to fix as soon as possible. But now he has the he started to remove people from it, and now he has another town, which bothers me because it gives him the ability to operate again. If he has lost his last town, he usually gives up and just surrenders to another kingdom. Especially when his army is like insufficient to take over another one, and he just knows it can't be done anymore. If it is not feasible, then he'll just give up. I need to keep raiding. We need more resources. And I'm still hesitant to actually sacrifice my own citizens for that. Not my citizens, my slaves for that. I'd also like to point out that the game has some of the probably laxest rules in terms of slavery. Mostly because, well, it's easy to be a slave in that game. All you have to do is cough up like a little bit of money every now and then. You're also always allowed to walk out, and that's just a very terrible form of slavery to me. As in, terrible for the slavers, and in that case, since I'm the slaver, it's just annoying. Because you will later in the game see that your slaves just walk out on you. They will just go and join random kingdoms, and I think they shouldn't be allowed to do that. I mean, you could just hunt them down and then kill them and declare war on whatever kingdom they join, and then you just get your citizen back in small pieces. But it just shouldn't work that way. They should not be allowed to just go out into the world and have fun. They're slaves. What slavery is that? They're just allowed to walk out if they don't feel it's their thing anymore. Am I moving people out or in now? Oh, this guy. He's also building again. So we want to get on top of that. It'll give our unit some more exercise. And we're also, I'm kind of interested in seeing how far I can get my all-high skill this time. With human kingdoms, I'm usually a bit more conservative about him, because I kind of have to be. It's, well, I don't have to. There's always another leader you can just send in. But with Frightened, it's pretty much inevitable to send the All High in, at least in the first raids, because he's such a strong and invaluable unit that you have to use him in order to enslave a village properly. Otherwise, you'll not be able to pull that off. So that note's just general. And I can tell he's probably not going to have the most fun assignment he could have. It's going to be an interesting assignment in that 4 he's going to, but he's not going to have fun or a very, very long reign, I suppose. Okay, why are these people not driven to rebellion? He seems to have dissolved that one place. And also something I forgot about is that the devs actually changed the rebellion notifications to only a certain size. I think only from 5 or more you actually get told, or actually 9. I think it's at least more than 5, so you won't get a notification for every single peasant who decides to rise up against the man. Oh wow, even has 2 soldiers in here. But no turrets yet. I guess that's one way to decrease the population of Karakorum. Okay. So yeah, we'll just keep harassing the green player, and we'll keep raiding him and reducing his army. And it will give us more troops, which is always nice. There wasn't even a general here. Ooh, he's sending something to defend. Nice. Very, very, very nice. That's just like life points delivered to you. I mean, look at these people. They have 40 health. They're barely recruits. But since diplomacy is about meeting the enemy halfway, or the other one halfway, we will actually be diplomatic here. And we'll meet him halfway. Oh, he decided that it's not for him. Well, fine, we'll go the extra mile then. Also, since we're faster than him, we'll use the little exploit here. Come on. Move ahead of him, then turn around. It works like a charm most of the time. It won't work on things that are very, very quick, like the Jaguars and what else? The wagons and most cavalry units. Because those can outrun even a Frighten. Even such an athletic one as those. As even such athletic ones as the Kashif. They will also outrun the Grokken. They move at about the same speed as pretty much all other infantry, except the Celtic Druid, which is probably among the slowest infantry units ever. But they're kind of fun. They're pretty strong. They do pack quite a punch. Which is sometimes surprising, in fact. Is that a miniature raid he's preparing? I would hope not. Oh, look at that. He actually built a new camp here. We'll take care of that soon. We'll take care of those first. They have left their force, so I think they're not even technically considered part of the squadron anymore in there. And we're also quite far away from the force, so we can just take them out. Which is lovely. There may be still one left also. But yeah, since those have left the fort, they'll not be protected by the turrets. So we can safely take them on. And not have to worry about anything shooting at us. And now we may provoke some reaction from them. No, we won't, which tells you how many soldiers are in here. Grand total of 0. He has what military score? 16. That was mine. 60. It's not very high, mind you. Also, let's train that auto. There is one very quick way of training an auto, or any general really. That is to have him move into battle with preferably a full squadron of soldiers. Look at that. Nope. Denied. And have him fight something. Preferably something that doesn't fight back. Although everything should really work. Does he yes, he has turrets in that. I was hoping we could raise this fort without any resistance, but I don't think I'll be that lucky. So we'll just attack him and burn the place down manually. But yeah, also another way of actually getting rid of a Kashif forest strategy is the always fun and tried and true way to use the Exivum for that. Because their Mage Tower will do the trick just as nicely. Keep in mind they will have less resources. So they will not be able to rebuild as much, and you can just zap their lairs. Okay, now where was I? This. Yeah, kill that guy first if you want. And you will see that his leadership will grow quite fast. Especially once you get into attacking this thing. So you see leadership 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. It just goes way up. And often his loyalty does as well. That seems to have been in the king. They do lose in value a bit as time goes on, that you kill more of them. They are worth less money, so that's a bit of a downside. But it's still fun to kill them. I don't think we've actually caused any rebellions yet. But we're having a blast. So, oh, we lost 3 soldiers there. Don't like that idea at all. I think this guy is going to become king at some point. He's gonna get far. Mostly because he can outrun us, but he's gonna be going places. And I can pretty much assure you that this guy is going to become king if he lives long enough. I'll probably not want to send him over down to Jizu. Where the hell is that guy going? Except on some sort of throne, most likely. Another thing I've noticed in the last game was if you actually have a spy who's building, he will use that, and unlike the other civilians, he will use that for building more than one building if you raise the first one. Is that a king? No, it's just a general. Just a general. Again, we'll have to put a bit ahead of him and then kill him. Why is that place still loyal? I hate it when cities do that. We're also up to 3 viewers at for a short time. I was about to say hi, but nope. Okay, is that place full already? No, it's not. Now it is. These people should not be loyal anymore. Oh well, it gives me something to destroy. And you should really use that opportunity to get your crew level up, or your troops leveled up. I mean, they will be skilled at they will be capped at a skill level, not skilled at a cap level. There will be a capped at a skill level of 200. Any regular soldier is, including your king or all high. There is an artifact that can push you beyond that, but it still won't rise any further. Like, you will not be able to get any of your soldiers to actually improve their skill once they get beyond level 200. But 200 is quite a massive skill, and it takes a while to get there. Like, I've had my all high, my last game, pretty much participated in almost every military action. Every single time I attacked, every single raid, he attacked as much as possible. And he reached, I think, 190 combat skill. Which I think is still sizable. It could be better. Also, this guy now has a combat skill of 100, and we have 1 more potential order, and actually 2 more here. This guy will also be a decent leader one day. fact, I might make him leader right now. And move him to here. So, no. Build a lair. Also, hello, third viewer, whoever you are. Also, I actually had somebody using the chat. You can use the live chat if you want. I do have an eye on it every now and then. And I hope you enjoy the stream. If you have any questions, just go ahead and pop them in there. I will pay attention to it. If you are the user, I think boss of bosses it was, yes, this is kind of an unannounced stream, I just felt like doing it. Oh wow, that's actually a very poor idea for any kingdom to just attack cities like that. You hardly ever want to, unless you really need to take over the city right now, and can't afford to pay the citizens. The thing is, you will drive out many of the defenders, and you will lose a whole lot of them. Ah, there we go, he surrendered. That was to be expected. Luckily, he did not build another camp here, which would then have gone to the Yellow Kingdom. And also, since he surrendered, that place did not go to the enemy. The throne did not go to that one general he just randomly hired. Also, that's kind of weird. I think they just joined the raid on that city, or I don't know why they would attack that, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure. Also, we do have plenty of money now. Also plenty of full lairs. So I want you to go and raid this town. We'll probably have you join that as well. Actually, go back and sortie. There is something I want to show you about that, which is I'll do after this raid. Using the sortie function, I think I showed that in Let's Play as well, but we'll just repeat it here. Using the sortie function has a bunch of advantages over the over not using it. One of them is that you can just right-click one unit of the squad and you will select the entire squad. So make sure that all orders retreat at a health level of 40%. I generally keep that as a safety, and you can go lower. You can also choose to not retreat your orders at all, but losing your generals or orders is always a big hit to the loyalty of the remaining troops. So you'll want to be careful with that. Also, so long, third viewer. It was a shame. I was hoping we'd get some viewers up here. I still enjoy live streaming. And again, it's especially fun if people do show activity in the chats, and they say stuff, they ask questions, they tell stories, and it's kind of fun to see. And as I said, it's more enjoyable for me, and I believe it's also more enjoyable for the viewers. Because especially when I watch Let's Plays and I see that the Let's Player in question is like missing obvious things and then doing stuff just objectively wrong, which does happen every now and then on the internet. And you want to yell at them, like, how can you not see that? And then now you can actually. Also, this is the random breeding we had. You. Oh no, it's not. It is actually. You just go here then. There we go, 6 peasants in Karakorum are rebelling. And there is that... Oh no, it's not that general, it's a new one. I don't think those rebels have much of a chance against this one. They wouldn't have had much of a chance against the old one, but this one is particularly bad for them. Okay, yeah, random breeding. If you see a unit standing outside of a lair, it might have been the random breeding kicking in. Okay, how was the last one? And now you can just put it in the chat, and it's almost like yelling at me when I miss something. So if you see me missing something, go ahead, put it in the chat, and I will probably feel stupid. Look at all those wars. I like it when the entire map is essentially blinking because there is war everywhere. People are killing each other, especially if they're not killing me. That's like a big plus. If they're killing each other and I'm not involved in any of it, especially on the receiving end of the killing, then that is a good thing. I will certainly not stop any bloodshed that's not my own. Let's go with that. And again, I'm trying to avoid using the forest strategy here because it's just kind of boring. Fun, but also kind of boring. And I also enjoy having like this the opportunity to actually use those scrolls of power. For example, if I build a forest here and they would attack everything that's not Kashif or neutral, that would include Seeds of Power I built. And since Seeds of Power are bloody expensive, you don't want them to be blown up by plant life. It's also kind of fun how he just never uses the Unknown Blessing, even though it would probably be a better use of his prayer points than this. Ooh, lots of wars going on. Not between those, although they might actually, unless they are allied, they might slip into war. Yeah, they might actually go into war very soon, because you often have that some projectile goes astray and they will just have war from there on. It's an instant war, essentially. Sadly, I cannot sell any food. It's a great way to gain money in human games, but unless you have your own cities, and those are producing a net positive in food, don't sell any food. There comes a time when you actually want to retain some humans. As I said, for example, if you want to build Seeds of Power, though you can just slap those next to your slave towns as well. Oh, we will be at war soon. Great. We will be declared war on very, very soon. I can see it right here. And I could actually just be proactive and declare war on him. Although this squad there might be out. Oh, he just declared war on me. Well, good on that. Okay, stop that. Now we can't do anything against that greater being attacking us, so we'll just put those on passive. Because if I had my troops out there, he would just keep wailing on them, and I would just lose some of my soldiers. So what you can easily do here is just ride it out. Just wait for him to lose all this prayer points, which does happen soon enough. It gets a lot easier if he actually doesn't have his troops right next to it. Right now we can just go nuts again. We can put those back on active. We can sortie. And oh yeah, right, I want to show you something. Now if I send those people out one by one, I can't right click them and their loyalty will drop to 0. Because they're out there and they don't have anything to do and they don't feel like they're part of a squad. If I sortie, their loyalty will still be dropping, but as soon as they get something to do, it will go up to 100. And it will stay there because they feel empowered by being in a squad or something. So that certainly helps. Yoguchai, you're totally boned. We also got the jump on him. That was good because it means we have a bit of an advantage. Also, there goes my third view again. I still think the YouTube considers me using the preview window there as one view. Okay, let's destroy that. It's kind of cool if you have the a Japanese seat of power. Let's go back quickly. Because I like to have the All-High with the Ring of Life. Or whatever commander is currently in command. I like to have them have the Ring of Life. Though I'd actually like to have an entire squad with Rings of Life equipped. It's, in my opinion, one of the best artifacts and one of the most useful artifacts around. Because it just gives you so much health regeneration, it's ridiculous. It's absurd. You can essentially keep your entire squad around and fighting. They will just recover health when you go around and destroy buildings or stuff. They will recover their health, or a good deal of their health. Look at that, there's more of those. And they give you a fair amount of life points as well. So we have reached now kind of mid-game as well. We're essentially constantly raiding some human kingdom, and again, if I can limit it to 1 war at a time, I'll be more than happy to. Because 1 war at a time is doable. It's totally doable. Also, we might want to have a second army here. Yeah, I think it's a reasonable call for a second army. I don't think Oryx's kingdom is going to do very well in the long term. Because he does kind of get a beating. Okay, where's my royal army? I need you to stop those. You guys, yeah, you stop those. It's fine. No. Go there. Kill. Actually, no. Yeah, take the battle over here. That works. We are losing out on a bit of tribute here, but it's not a big deal. Because we're making so much more in loot. It's fine. We're also losing some soldiers, but we can replace those, and we're also getting a whole lot of new Celtic troops, although we don't need those per se. Where's my king? Over there. Having a blast. Okay, we actually have the money to buy the this and that. As much as I don't like building lichels, and I try to avoid building like crap loads of those, I will probably put some regular ones near my own lairs, just as an extra line of defense. Those ones weren't spread, so I think it's okay. Oi. Somebody has betrayed me. And my All-High has died, or what? Dang. Okay, that's weird. He did not retreat, so you will be the new All-High. Or... no, the other guy will. Actually, he's almost dead, so maybe he'll not be the best All-High. Though he should be okay. Yeah, you'll be the new All-High. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing, and we might actually lose that. We might actually lose that. Yeah, you go back there. Dang. Okay, we need you to start preparing another defense. So, 2 of those should do nicely. I should have done that earlier. Yes, we are under attack, I know that. Is my... no, that plant is not going to be done. It's not going to be built, so we'll have to send in some troops to distract them a bit. Yeah, I think we're a bit of more than we can chew here. I think that one is pretty much done for us. Although we might be able to actually pull this off if we move the all high out. We lose those two towns, sadly. But we might make a last stand in another place, so we'll just try to regroup over here. All high here. Kind of peeved that we lose the Mongols' crit of power there. Okay, that will boost our defensive capabilities quite a lot. If we can build something there. Okay, yeah, that will help a lot. Now we'll want to use to bolster those with our own troops. So those will have to support, so the Legion does not have to fight alone. But as it goes on, we should be fine. Now, you need to build another lair. Right there, if you would. Okay. Yeah, just go all in. Those troops are kind of replaceable right now. And if we actually get to strike back, yeah, he destroyed that one. He will probably also destroy that one, because those guys are reasonably good. Back. Yeah, I think we'll have to give up on those. But we're not down yet. We lost on all high, which, as I said, is really embarrassing to me. But we're not defeated yet. In fact, we're far from that. Okay, let's kill those. Okay. Now it would be nice to get those cities back, but we can't take them right now. So we'll have to leave it there. But we have the life points to actually make something out of this. Oh wow, I just lost my second viewer. That's a depressing thing about live streaming. You can actually check how your stream is doing, well, live. Okay, that's only 3. How good are those? Barely any good. We'll just we'll stay passive here. Could you attack that? This is kind of embarrassing. Yeah, I think we made a mistake when we tried to take on the military first, because he does have a lot more forces than we have. And I had kind of too much faith in my general's ability to move out of harm's way. It looks like he just took over that town. Good on him. Where's the general here? There doesn't seem to be a general here. Okay, we can also do that. Now there is actually disadvantage in having a not too much of a disadvantage in having to crown in you all high. Although, of course, it's like every general, actually all of your units will drop in loyalty. That's why one of our recruits decided to betray us there. Okay. I think if we sort you without injured now, should be fine. Oh, I just killed one of my guys. Can't say I approve of that, but it has to be. Yeah, he killed one. Okay, do we still have a leader here? Yes, we do. Now this is a slave town we can just take back. The resistance has not arisen there. It won't do at all. That's the traitor. That is the traitor. He has betrayed us. And doesn't seem to be intent on attacking us anymore. Wonder why that is. Also, why are you out there? Go back. How are you doing there? Back in. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. It was a noble sacrifice from our all high. We'll have to take it. We also just lost another Kharshiv crew there. Yeah, there we go. Now the Ordo is retreating as he should be. And the funny thing is, even if the Ordo retreats, we can order our soldiers back. And we can still select them all with the use of the... Yeah, I know I'm attacked. We can all retreat them with the use of the... We can still always retreat them, but we can still order them back. We can still select them with the right click. Oh, there's a general. There was a general. And something I do enjoy about this game is that, although I'm a bit torn on that, sometimes I enjoy it, sometimes I don't, is that tooltips actually stop the game. They actually pause the game. So especially since the game has tooltips that actually explain more about the option in question, it's kind of nice to have. I mean, it's nice that you have the time. The game gives you the time to read up on what you should be reading up on. The town of Kerman has been founded also. I wonder if that's where the Kermans from the Kerbal Space Program come from. Probably not. Yeah, this is currently showing a flaw in the AI programming here. The general tries to fight this plant. He tries to basically defend himself against the thing that just attacked him. And then he remembers, well, damn, I'm quite injured. So I might not want to do that. I might not want to fight that. I might want to get out of there. Then he tries to get out of there, and then he gets hit again, and it repeats itself. So that's why I just went back and forth, and essentially achieved very little except, well, death. Okay, we'll remove one of those, because I want to be on a building mission right now. I'm not going to repeat my mistake from last time, and I'm going to build those 2 defensive littles right away. Luckily, the yellow player is currently a bit preoccupied with other things to kill, so that's going to work in my favor, because they're going to kill each other up here. as soon as this layer is back up, we'll have another slave town, which will at least give us a bit more money. We now have all the life energy we need. Still won't bring back our all high, which is kind of an ego thing for me to keep him alive, despite having to send him out all the time, or most of the time, or quite a lot. Let's stay at that. Quite a lot. Okay, at least we could save one of our towns. It's a shame he could dissolve this one. I would have liked the Mongol town to stay there. Oh, he's attacking us with that. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. You want to just retreat. Just retreat. That's good, yes. Stay calm. And leg it. Perfect. Now this place does need some more cruels. There we go, this is back to a slave town now. My Kashmir near Thebes has been attacked. And it's probably not going to be, yeah, it's fine. It was to be expected that he acquires this scroll of power. Also, this general is ridiculously strong. What is this hero? He has a combat value of approximately 316. You can easily tell by the amount of health they have, which is for the standard infantry usually 2 times their combat level. If you have fancy special troops, they generally differ. I think it's 3 for the unmounted troops, and then 4 to 5 for the various cavalries. Like the elephant cavalries will have a lot of health. They will clock in at 5 times the combat level in terms of health. Whereas the other guys will weigh in at a bit less. And yeah, we're probably going to lose more cruels here. This is one of the things I hate about Tritons, is they're really weak against those war machines. So in that case, war machines do have kind of a merit. They will work pretty well against Tritons, but in most other cases they're just useless. And of course they do still cost a lot to upkeep, and they just don't get better. Alright, this hero here, this will be a lot of money and life force. And escaping that was probably also not the smartest thing you could do. Now, since I don't have any wild lishers, I can actually afford to keep those around. I can actually afford to fight here, because I will gain all the resources, all the loot from this place. Could you attack that, and could you join in? Lovely. Yeah, that's just out of range now. Could you hit that? Kill that. There we go. Exploit the AI. Okay. Now, we got some artifacts, which I really won't touch. That was useful. So glad those just got to fix themselves up. Also kind of cool to see those fix up. They really regenerate quick. And I think you don't actually have to pay anything for building or for having them repair themselves, so amazing unit. You do have to pay money to repair your buildings though, so be aware of that. And something a bit cheaty about the AI here is that they don't actually need to make money. The game cheats in that regard. I've had people essentially I've had people in the Steam forums complain about that. I didn't have them complain. I didn't make them complain, but I've seen complaints about that, They essentially had they had spies looking at their economy tab. You can't do that for another kingdom if you have a decent spy in their kingdom and you want to sacrifice them, because they will almost always get caught on that. You can't check the economy, and they essentially were bleeding money. They were just getting money out of the void, because that's the only way those back then knew how to keep them in business and how to keep the AI from essentially losing all the money and then losing buildings, because if you run out of money to pay the upkeep, buildings will start losing health. May do so quite rapidly. Also, his military dropped by about 200 points by now, and we are slowly recovering. We now have some layers. The training of new troops is going at full speed, which is not too quick, but that's as fast as it gets, I guess. And we are harassing him with our plants, which is something I would rather not have had to do, but I guess sometimes you have to do. And we'll still not go with the wild glishers. I try to avoid that at least. Actually, I was going to build those, but I wanted to have the Glishol 3 before I would build those. Because I really like this camouflage ability. It just looks a lot nicer than those big-ass movie things there. Fun fact, this is kind of like a carnivorous plant. Like, those will attract enemies. And I just love that. This attracts them, and then they'll go and die. It's hilarious. It's even better with the... Oh wow, that's a big one. Where is Tabras? Yeah, that was a town of the green player, I think. Before he ended up surrendering. Look at that, there's a wild Kasha player. So if there were another Kritzen, they could do that. They could do the counter I mentioned earlier. Now it's an even better bait because it's right next to the plant. This is so hilarious. I love that. Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have the Mongol populace very good in check. And he built the seat of power there. I think he might be about to attack me. And this order would have been a very, very good candidate for all high. But I preferred somebody who actually had 100 leadership skill. Even though it's not that big of a deal for Quidzens, because they won't have... because we didn't have civilians. If you do have civilians, then it's a bit more difficult to change your kings, because they will also lose loyalty, and that may cause people to... Okay, you attack that. You grab that scroll. Perfect. At least we get that back. Also, you come back to the lair. You just die. Okay, that was defense for my on high. I will still not sell any food. Sorry. And not sorry at the same time. There just won't be any food sales. Live with it. I thought that it was a general, but it wasn't. Also probably try to shut up now. There's not much point in explaining much. Although I'm still kind of in let's play mode where I try to keep talking and keep filling stuff. I kind of don't have to. I mean, I'm not sure if people watch live streams to hear somebody talk or to just watch somebody play. And it's all weird. Well, at least you. Oh, I thought the Yellow Kingdom just surrendered. But yeah, we're losing out on a lot of those scrolls. And that's something that happens when you have a larger set of kingdoms. When you set the aggressivity to larger, at least it used to happen that you'd have one kingdom that they'd all surrender to, so you'd have one huge spongy blob of the kingdom that would span the entire map, and that would also have a very easy time annihilating you. They would absolutely crush you, in fact. Oh, that guy's an amazing leader. We'll use you to build a second layer up here. We actually have the money to do that. And we have the... we still kind of have a second spot there. I would like to enslave that city here, but well, 28 peasants is not that much, so it's probably not worth it. All those places are very, very small. Yelling, it's too small. Cormal Hisn would be a good place to enslave, but it's very far away. And all those other cities are just too tiny. If I enslave those, I would probably kill at least 10, probably more of the populace, so there wouldn't be much left to pay tribute. And essentially it's 1 or 2 more earthquakes and then it'd be done. Okay, on the right side, the 2 bigger enemies here are pretty low on reputation. I mean, I actually have a reputation of 22, which is great. This guy is getting back up in terms of military, which is a trend I might want to revert. I mean, our plants did their thing, or did their best to combat this trend. But we do want to help it out a bit further. I think those guys just returned from a raid. They did attack this city there. They're not exactly tired, but they still won't turn down a bit of loot. Okay, let's just fight them here. Get off my lawn, although the lawn is quite capable of defending itself in this case. At least the new ally has a less silly name. And for Frighten's almost a pronounceable one. I mean, I still won't try, but at least the name is now pronounceable. Not as silly as numbertwelve, but still. It'll have to do for now. So, all high Feyfag. The king is dead, long live the king, so they say. Okay, you don't have anyone. Come on, now you have. I don't think those would actually be able to do this very easily. We'll try to help the regeneration here just a little. We'll give this guy the Ring of Life, and we'll trade it back when we sortie. Because I want the Seat of Power gone. It seems like Blue has actually achieved a small victory here. They did get rid of the Mongol city here, although it might have happened with the rebellion already. But it still means that the Yellow Kingdom has less food to go around. As you can see here, most of the population are in fact workers. And why would that be? Why would that? Oh, that's why. Okay, you know what? Could we have a ceasefire? Apparently we can't. That's perfect. You know what? Screw it. We'll attack that anyway. I mean, we would have to sooner or later. And that way at least they... we're out already. If they surrender to the blue and the blue would declare war on me now, I'd not be very happy about that. He seems to have sent a complete newbie in here. I mean, that guy was not a strong soldier. By any means. I would also like to get a friendly treaty with this guy. So we don't accidentally attack him. Oh, Tangri. Right, if that seat of power is brought down now, Tangri will not make a return. Ooh, Ring of Life. Kinda want that. But I don't want to attack those as while Tangri is still around there. Second screen just went off. Does that every now and then. I think to remind you of the passage of time, so every few hours it just switches off. And I keep my computer running all day lately because master thesis. Come on, bugger off. Didn't make that much progress in terms of... also does hit really hard. I mean, over 10 points, especially if they hit them in the back, it's a very hard hit. Okay, Tangri is gone now. You'll go passive. Will he attack? No, he won't. What did he... oh, he's just moving them. That's fine. Yeah, you probably want to go passive as well. Okay, Tangri has finally disappeared. It took forever. This thing needs to go. Yeah, we can have a ceasefire. I'm kind of busy anyway. Ooh, nice. This place is rebelling now. Somebody pick up the cryo staff or zero staff. It's not as good as that hero skill that just freezes everybody in a certain radius, but it's better than nothing when you want to freeze something. Probably also would keep the food fresh, but that's another story. Oh yeah, this thing needs to go. I've noticed that the AI is generally unlikely to build another seat of power unless they really have the money for it, which they rarely have. Also, while I think I was checking on the enemy population earlier. I just did like 5 minutes ago. So yeah, he doesn't have many peasants, so that's another thing the AI often fails to do. So they try to buy more food. But again, I think they will also receive food out of the void. Because they just have to, otherwise it would be too easy. I mean, they would just be starving by now, and that would probably not be much of a fun game experience. So, yeah. It's a necessary evil. I suppose building a proper AI would be way too complex for that. And I mean, back in the day, people actually had to show restraint when it came to game development. You know that 3 Rebels just broke off there and we didn't get the notification. Even if we hadn't seen it, we wouldn't be notified of it. So yeah, people had to show restraint. They had to live with the limitations of the medium. And that was, I think, about the time that CDs became a thing. So it wasn't overly common to have. By then, CDs were the main way of getting data across. No, you're Carthaginian. You should be making more food than most others anyway. Oh well. Yeah, let's let the boys have their fun there. So yeah, and then people were just limited, and they had to make do with what their engines and the hardware could do, which wasn't all that much compared to today. And especially in this case, I think they did an amazing job. Now that I'm talking about games, I've recently had seen the news about Activision's patent thing. I'm not sure what you guys think about it. Do leave a comment if you want. And I'm a bit surprised, actually. I mean, I wasn't surprised that it was blown up to such a big deal and that people would make such a deal out of it. And that they would essentially give Activision quite a shitstorm for it. But on the other hand, I think it's kind of weird that they actually got that angry. Because, just in case you don't know, it has become public that Activision has received a patent for essentially a way to make matchmaking pair up new players with players that have certain gear that they might be interested in based on like mouse movement tracking and stuff. So if you say look at a sniper rifle in the in-game purchase shop for microtransactions, of course, then you would be paired with a player who has that particular, let's just say, sniper rifle, and he would also probably be kicking your butt. So that's entirely desired in that case, to pair you as a new player with somebody who will kick your ass, who will wipe the floor with you, hands down in that case, and then that would be enticing you to fork over the greens and pay the microtransactions and emulate that behavior. Like you try to say, okay, yeah, this guy was good. I could do the same thing if I had that sniper rifle, and then you would buy that. That's the plan, and I think it's well, it's kind of a dick move to begin with. But if you ever looked at free-to-play economy, it's at many free-to-play games, those did that anyway. Now, apparently they didn't do it intentionally, but at some point you were bound to hit somebody who had the superior premium equipment and who would also most likely wipe the floor with you. I mean, I've played such games for quite a while, and I've been there. I've seen players who could just crush you under the sheer weight of their wallet, and it's no fun, but it's a necessary evil if the game stays free. And I just don't think it's much of a new thing. Which again is why this has kind of baffled me in terms of how it was perceived. And something I don't think people seem to consider here is that what Activision has done is not really developed something new. What Activision has done there is they now have a document that says we had that idea first. So whenever someone else comes along, like another developer, say EA, who I wouldn't see above doing the same thing, Activision can now say, okay, look at that, we have the patent, you're using our system. So now that you're making all that money, you can fork over some of that to us. And I'm kind of hoping for that to happen when the big publishers keep trying to squeeze money out of each other and keep having that discussion. It probably won't happen because one crow doesn't hack the other's eyes out. It's a saying we have here. But you can still dream, you know. And I believe that may actually be part of the motivation behind all this. To actually go ahead and secure a hold of that system. I mean, they will still use it eventually, but now they have a tool to also skim money off of other publishers and of other games they didn't even make. And I believe that is very enticing to Activision as well. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely despise free-to-play models. I don't like the pay-to-win model. And I think it's kind of low to have your matchmaking actually play into that. And have to really prey onto you and automatically push you towards microtransactions. And something else I would like to point out here is that microtransaction is a very, very stretchy term nowadays. And in my opinion, I mean, have you looked at those premium currency shops lately? They're selling quite large quantities of premium currency for quite large quantities of actual money, and I don't think we should call that microtransactions anymore. I mean, I've seen stuff up to $2,000 microtransactions. That's not a microtransaction anymore. $2,000 is actually quite solidly in the realm of a macro transaction. And things like $60, that's I would say at least a meso transaction, but we're not in the micro transaction realm anymore. By any stretch. We ain't having microtransactions there. Also, this game is heading towards a rather drastic end. Had I not lost those two layers here and those two cities attached to them, I would probably be mopping up the map right now. As it stands, we might want to be careful. I do want to go to war with the yellow player. Actually, no. This is tough. They're both a lot stronger than us, and we can't really expand and then grab more cities here because this one is a bit too small for my taste. This one is a no. That one's a no. That one's a no. That one would get us right back into war, which may be worth it, but I'd rather not. That's not actually a neutral town, so there's not too much we can do right now. As much as I hate to do it, I could actually go with the forest strategy now. Just plant like a small tree here, and I still don't want to do it. But it may actually be the only chance we have here. So let's say if I lose 2 more layers, then I will have to do the forest thing, which is kind of pointless at the moment. I mean, I could put it here, where it would have the most annoying factor. I think it's more fun against human players because those can actually react to it properly. The AI has has little intention to actually go here and fight things, fight neutral things, unless they keep getting attacked by them, and unless they are on the way to my lair and they just try to raid that. But yeah, they just won't react to those plants, and they will eventually try to fight them back when they start attacking their buildings and stuff. But out of that, there won't be much happening in that regard, and that's just sad. It's just boring, you know. I guess I'll just try to get a third layer here. This place is like a forge of orders. And all the good leaders came from here. Kind of. Okay, 40%. And there. And I wish that was actually working for all later orders. I mean, at least it works relatively consistently for all Kashu, or for all Frightens. But when you have humans with all those different nations and stuff, it often doesn't work. Like you right click, which should set to 40 or to the percentage for every general, according to the tooltip. But it won't, because I think it won't do for heroes, I think it won't do for other nations, and I think that's weird, and I don't like it. Because I sometimes forget to click that, especially later in the game when I just like split fortresses by sending the good leaders out to found their own force and get their own soldiers, and I sometimes forget to set their withdrawal limit, or their retreating health threshold thing. Ooh, Romans grow power. Note that we didn't get a single civilian yet. We could have had our civilians by now. Okay, this might also be a close one in terms of money. Yeah, we are broke. We are essentially broke. But oh, wow, sizable army. But we may be able to fight off one army. If we lure them into attacking us, if we declare war on, say, yellow again. It's also kind of surprising to me how the brown player has such a large military. With 340 something is not bad. That's quite a good army. And he doesn't seem to have that many places, although now that I actually count them, he does seem to have a sizable kingdom. Quite a few towns. And of course he goes way overboard with the war machines. Which is something I'm really not keen on, and I don't like to see. I mean, look at that, he has two war factories. I thought it was a war factory, but it's not. But he has way too many of those. And it just annoys me to see that. And he wouldn't have that if he actually had to pay attention to his money and would not be constantly drip-fed money by the game. But that's just on a side note. It's not really important after all. Okay, I think it's time to go to war again. Could do that with the money to take over another frightened nest, although that's fun to do. And in my earlier games I actually enjoyed that quite a lot, like going up to a frightened nest and taking them over and then just having a multi-frightened army. But it's really very, very, very expensive, especially later on, because the obviously those orders in here will also have some soldiers, and you bribe the entire lot, so the more skilled those are, the more expensive it gets. And if you do it very late, like if you do it by now, it would probably be very, very expensive to do, in the terms of about 10,000 gold. And that's just way too much. I mean, it's kind of primitive, and I think it's for a good reason. I mean, you do get a bunch of fairly strong units in one go. You don't have to train them. You don't have to wait. You have them right away. So I guess it's about the same as buying like five to six strong units in an inn. Also, we're now seeing those were defenders. Haha, nice. Those used to be defenders, most likely. So I think those were those were defenders from here, which will remain neutral. And if the village drops its resistance to 0 while there are defenders out, the defenders will just leave. Also, that's not good for your PR there. You can't see the resistance here as kingdom, or as cities will resist each kingdom differently. If you could see it, it would still drop even as you attacked it. It does drop pretty slow as it is attacked, but it does drop. Okay. Now we do have to keep the game moving somehow, and since I can't really get a spy and I don't feel like actually risking anything to we have all the Egyptian towns. Not all of them, but many of them. Two. I can't have any spies, so I can't actually rile those up against each other anymore. And they now have an alliance, so chances are if I go to war with one, I'll go to war with both. And I'm not sure I'll be able to pull this off. So I'm afraid I have to do this. Right, I have to do this next month. Those are really expensive. I'll wait another month. We don't want to run out of cash. It's never a good idea. I guess I could attack the yellow one. Yeah, I think we can take on the yellow one. We have to. I could also just try to wait for them to actually go and do something horrible and where are all the civilians going actually? Where's Tangri going? When did I last have an order walk out there? It's been a while ago actually, so I'm not sure what that's supposed to sort out. Oh right, I had this right when I was about to build a wild little, which I will build now. Right over there. The plan, or kind of my current hope is, thank you for that, but no. My current hope is that this will not spread too soon, and instead only soften up enemies so that the actual legions I own actually dispose of the enemy, which means stop that. Which means I would then have the resources. I would get the gold, I would get everything I get from killing those. Of course, if that grows further and grows into an actual forest, I will have to see what I can do. I should have probably waited with declaring that war, but I just want to get the game moving along. It's been going on for a while already, and I think it's about time we move on. Yeah, classic move there, having different unit speeds, although in this case it seems that we have several force worth of soldiers. Those two might not enjoy their job there. They'll probably get killed soon enough. There we go, the plan worked out so far. We got both of those kills. So also both of those batches of resources. And I don't think I actually have to send out anyone for that right now. This should be able to handle itself. Those small amounts of troops, not a big deal. Not an issue at all. I believe one thing that makes fighting large armies a bit easier is the fact that they often send the infamous single file formation. So all of those will arrive in one column, as you see here, which means if you're quick enough with dispatching the first parts of that column, you will generally have an easy time. Yeah, thank you about that. Thank you for that. I kinda saw that. Could you kill that? Don't like those Spitfires. I guess it's time to fight. Don't kill another all high. That would be great. We also have the advantage of having most of our lairs here nearby. So we actually have a shorter way to resupply the troops and to breed again and to retreat as well. If things go south, we can just retreat. Ah, no, it's not the hero. Sometimes the game keeps recycling names, which gets a bit confusing when you know that there's a hero of that name. Okay, anyone left? Yeah, that one. That seems to have been a general. Okay, yeah, right. You lot will die. You will die. You will die. Because I'm quite sure they could actually take on that plant. You will give that to the all high. You will breed and you will breed. And you will grab that. Anything else I'll let him have. But those rings are the one kind of artifact I want. And there's the next wave. And luckily that means we can just drain them of their forces. Yeah, they lost a fair amount of them. Sadly, the Brown Kingdom has managed to extend its sheer forces as well. So those are even stronger now. We have all the life points here. I should probably do something with those, but I don't know what best to do with them. So that's the thing I was talking about earlier. They can't just walk out. Why can't they just walk out? What kind of slave system am I running for that to be the case? Ooh, it's a king. It's a king. We might actually lose... Yeah, we'll probably lose this one cruel here. Can we? Yes. No, we can't seem to trap him. Fine, get back. That's a shame. The king was smart enough to actually not get trapped in a fight. That's a real shame. Ooh, another ring of life. Actually attack that. That's kind of annoying. Can you kill this guy? No, you can't. 100. Go. I think the guy with the Ring of Life might have gotten away. Or we might have had it there. I don't actually want to ceasefire right now. I think we have him there. Since he didn't manage to send his troops in such a mass right now, in such force, we can actually deal with him reasonably well. I mean, this way also his soldiers are not that strong anymore. When he got my all high, he was pretty damn well prepared to do so. He had oh wow, that has spread pretty quick. Sadly, completely the wrong direction because this direction doesn't do anything for us at all. Okay, let's fight here. Okay, you grab that. No, run. We want to get away from those catapults. At least a bit further away. Or have our plant life deal with those catapults. I hate siege weapons. Okay, you put that there. And sortie again. We will get to full equipped, fully decked with the Rings of Life. At least I'm hoping so. Also, nobody will ever be able to outrun anything with the Druid. Except maybe the Tom. Like the little termite units the Bregma have. Sorry about that. Just toppled over the bottle. That's like the only thing a Druid might outrun. Everything else is too fast for them. And I do mean everything. Yeah, I think they're actually ready to be taken. We have let them off most of their military. So if we just go ahead and actually assemble some raiding parties now, we should be able to take them out. As usual, I'll try to target the markets and stuff first, because those don't fight back. And we will get some experience and some health for our troops. Some extra overall health for them. Oh, there's even trading here. And it's also something that doesn't make sense. The air often keeps buying goods and ferries it to markets in the middle of nowhere. Just because there used to be a town here and they never really sought out that trading network. And it only makes sense if you actually build cities again here. I sometimes did that when I happened to, I don't know, gain a market stocked with stuff. I would sometimes actually build a city next to it, just so it doesn't go to waste. Or I would just transport the stuff away. That works too, you know. Whatever floats your boat. Let's destroy that. And that. Thank you for that. Let me just tab out of that, and I hope that won't mess up my thing too much. Okay, come on. Can we get back into the game? Yes. Sorry about that. Stupid hardware scan. I don't know why I can't postpone it for like more than 4 hours. He should only have like very, very basic troops here, so I'm not too worried about those. We may lose somebody here to Tangri. I'm afraid we won't be able to get the Seat of Power destroyed before Tangri arrives. Yeah, there he is, and he's kind of full on power. Come on, destroy this, destroy it, destroy it. Oh, he passed by. That's a shame, because you won't get another chance. I think you can take that now. No ceasefire, my friend, no ceasefire. I thought those were about to attack me, but they weren't. I'll try to keep at least everybody who was busy with those. I'll try to keep at least 2 layers at home, at least from here. I think that's actually a reasonable idea. You destroy that. Do I have my high out? No, I don't. I wish there was actually a way to heal your stuff quicker. Like a spell or something. Because giving them all rings of power, rings of life takes ages. And a lot of luck with probabilities. Or a small fortune, or the combination thereof. I mean, you could just buy them in inns and stuff if you had all the inns and all the money. Which I currently don't. I mean, I could buy a certain amount of them, but I don't want to. That's it, I just don't want to do that. Also, things would probably okay, yeah, you can get back. Oh, that was a king. Shame. I'm not going to bother with the art of war here. It's not worth it. I mean, it's kind of a cool artifact, but I don't think the 20 leadership skill will make too much of a difference. Okay, you there. Go and grab that ring. And yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but it seems my forest picked the worst direction to spread. The absolute worst. I mean, this way would be okay, because then it could at least do something in regards to defending that city. I also think the Tridents have a funny way of walking. But yeah, down here, nah, not so much. Unless it gets to harass things that walk from here to there, or into that currently empty corner of the map, this direction won't do much at all. So, in my opinion, it just seems like they pick one direction and they just spread in that direction. So you have essentially a 1 in about 4 to 8 chance of them going the way you want. I don't know if it only counts like those, I would say cardinal directions from your layer, from your buildings. So this one, that one, that one, or that one. Or if they also go up and down, I suppose they do take any direction. And I also think only the last one that has been spawned will actually spawn another. Although I'm really not too sure on how those this reproduction thing works here. But it seems to me that it's only the last one that has been spawned that will decide where the next one will appear. It will be somewhere around it. Which is why it's kind of unlikely for them to completely turn around. Also, those might not make it through. Yeah. And we won't get the stuff from them, sadly, because those aren't enemies. So our Lishals, as you can see here, are not touching those, and we're also not at war. Those have officially left our kingdom. If I were sending Kharkiv, they would attack me again. That's just something I want to point out there. They will attack anything that attacks them. Kharkiv can move across them freely, and it will also only be one at a time. So if you have a very, very dense thicket of those, and you want to get rid of them, send in Kharkiv, because then they will only have to deal with one at a time, even though many may be in range. Only the one you're currently attacking will fight you. And if you have a full layer of Kharkiv, they should be able to take it down relatively quick. So you can thin them out quite well. I believe it's about time. Oh wow, if only we hadn't lost that Mongol town. Are they going to Tana? They are. Great. It might be a good time to spread our... You're not good at that, are you? Might be a good time to actually get into there. So we'll get one of those rings, we'll transfer it there. And something else that's a bit odd, but not unusual, is that the better a leader gets, the more he drops in loyalty. Because I suppose they believe they should be leaders, and they should have the chance to prove themselves. Which I think is fair enough. Obviously this guy is not too happy with the way things are going right now. Here, both of you read at 40%. Yeah, in this case it did update him. Okay, now we have to figure out how to get rid of him, or how to get rid of this pretty massive military we're up against. Because we have significantly less military to deal with and to work with. So I'm not entirely sure how we'll best pull that off. I'm being perfectly honest here. I could, if I had the time and were in the mood for that, I could just let him, I could just build like the wild little forest over here again and let him eventually waste all his military, then just mob up. But I think that's kind of boring, so I'd rather not. Also kind of tired, and I would like to finish this game in this stream because if I didn't, then I would have to do a stream with the remaining like 30 minutes of footage, and I just don't like that idea. I would like to have a bit better split. If I split it in two parts, I like to have it split a bit more evenly. Because let's face it, a stream is generally a bit longer than your average Let's Play. That's just a fact I would like to put out there. So I think it's a good time to do that. He just declared war on us. So let's make sure he doesn't attack us. Oh, he did attack us there. Great. Also, that thing is pretty beat up. You might want to sort that out. Didn't notice this camp was built there. Luckily, war machines aren't that sturdy, so you can get away with attacking them. And if your troops are strong enough and hitting hard enough, they will actually deal significant amount of damage to it. Also, one advantage war machines have over humans is obviously they are loyal. They can't betray you. Although there is one exception to that when you actually take over a fort with a spy. And sometimes the war machines will join you as well. I don't know how that works. Maybe the operating crew or something decides that you're obviously a better pick. Or if that's something else. I don't know. I don't want to judge. Actually, no. Let's spread this a bit. Oh, wow, this place is already full. Okay. Nope, no. Come on, back. You can do that. Yeah, we didn't get that one. But we have dropped his military by a small amount. He is probably going to replace much of his military with war machines, so most of the soldiers we kill now, I suppose, will be replaced by various pieces of machinery. But overall, I think we'll be okay. We'll put that there. So the more valuable units are a bit better protected. My Cardiff Nest has been attacked by something. Is that worth defending? Probably is. It probably is. Can you reach that? No, you can't. Oh wow, there's a lot of army on the move. And there was an earthquake here. Or here. How are 4 of my buildings damaged, yet none of my... Oh, those maybe. Yeah, those were. Forgot I had 4 buildings there. We also might want to get that sorted. I'm afraid we have to move another one of those here. Okay. It's going to be interesting to me to see if this guy will still be part of that squad after he built the plant. Nope, he's not. So, everybody retreat. I need to regroup them. Which is luckily very easy. all it takes is... Ah, nice. All it takes is just getting back into the lair for a moment. Ooh, terrible artifact. Absolutely terrible artifact. I don't like that thing one single bit. Yeah, that's fine. We should be able to take him out. Let's set that order to 40%. There was a Roman Scroll of Power somewhere here. So if you could maybe go away and fetch that. No, go there. Go passive. Go there. Damn it. I could withdraw them, but let's just let them destroy those catapults. And then retreat. You lost how many? 1. Actually reasonable. He is trying to attack me there. No, go back. Oh great, it bugged out. They do that sometimes when they keep hitting that same spot on the floor. And there is nothing I can do about it. Maybe hitting it once. We'll try that. Hit that. Apparently it doesn't seem to care anymore. So yeah, this plot is completely bugged out now. On the bright side, I could probably exploit it for some quick combat skill practice. That was not exactly impressive. Yeah, actually, let's do that. In that case, I want all of you to go there and destroy this thing. Pains me to do that, but we have to. Otherwise, it's just a threat to us. We can't have that shoot like right at our front entrance, or back entrance, or side, right at our lair, and the area right next to it. Okay, this might actually warrant a bit more of a sortie. And we will send out the All High from there, and these guys for there. I have got your own scroll power, great. You can go home. It's also fun how they request a ceasefire after starting a war. We are losing somebody there. Yeah, we are taking quite substantial damage here because if there is a stupid unicorns. I guess there's no way around that. Die. Oh, look at that. A hero. And this one has the reflecting skill, as you can see here. It's technically attacking itself, you know. And so here. Now I would actually get more troops here and raid those cities, but I don't want to have the troops out while those enemies are on the prowl. Because that may just prompt an attack. This effect is kind of obnoxious. Because we're under attack. Although I remember the German version, it was actually some very, very soft-spoken, manly voice. Well, almost a bit timid, which is quite a contrast from the English version. You don't have to tell me every time. I think they consider that one dead. I think it's also a rare bug, but there's... Let's say this game was never a tower defense game, okay? It was never intended to be like that, so the entire literal mechanics are a bit weird, and I think that they were more experimental than anything else. Can you attack that? No. Okay, this is indeed under attack. Since those guys are a bit too weakened, we will just have this lair help out with the fights. We'll try to stay close to the lair itself, so if we could fight those for now, that would be great. Yeah, we're going to lose a few guys here as well, which is always annoying. Could you come here? Yeah, fine. Let's fight that first. So why is that auto not set to retreat on 40? Could you attack? Actually, no. Retreat. Yeah, the sound effect does get obnoxious. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. At least it doesn't tell me when I actually see the attack. Okay, how's this military looking here? Okay, now he was selling me again. Unnecessarily, as I may add. Let's use that. We got a Karshiv out of that. How surprising. We would actually also accepted something else. Although it is, as I said earlier, a bit difficult to get something else to actually survive long enough. Just stop that. Alright, that's the Karshiv we got from the Horn. For a very short time. Okay, now this needs to have... Okay, he got it, which is a shame. but nothing unexpected. If you could sortie without injured, that'd be great. I guess you as well. That should actually be enough to secure us the numeric advantage. Why does my old high keep dying? Oh well. You win some, you lose some. Totally not used to having all those all high dying on me. But look at that, plenty of rings of life. Okay, we picked most of them up. You there may as well leave. Wait, you don't have one yet. Go drop that. So you build me another one of those. Wait, you will be doing some gardening first. More of those here. You return. Okay, now, where do you go to? We'll fill up those layers in a moment. You're a half-decent leader. Do we have anyone better? If not, this guy will become the new auto. Okay, so fill up here. Here. Wow, we seem to have lost none of those lishol plants. Or was it one we lost? No, we lost 2 of them. That's a shame. It's slightly more challenging when you don't have that huge forest to rely on and to just fall back into. But it also makes the game a lot more interesting. You just don't have that overpowered thing to defend you and to just keep you alive and safe. Although being alive and safe are 2 things I very much enjoy. Oh, Jesus, a small bit here. Just a bit. Just a bit. Alright, that wild one was one I had to destroy there. No. That's when the auto really gets annoying, when it replaces one of your trained strong soldiers with a freshly bred one. Okay. Now, are we done here? Why are you still... Nope, come back. What have you got that? And back, great. Let's fill that up, go passive. That wasn't impressive in terms of attacks. We'll also probably eat another hit right there. You don't have to tell me when I'm centered on it. You really don't, game. You really don't. Okay, let's fight back here. Although he seems to be... I was about to say he seems to be out of strong units, but he's most certainly not. We also have another hero there. He seems to have both the reflecting and the freezing skill. Not in favor of that. I also wish the health bar color would be more attached to, or more depending on the hero's skill level rather than on his sheer life points. Because right now you get the yellow after like 70 health. Yeah, we'll not get that scroll. And for example, Grocken reached that with a combat skill of, I think, 30. No, actually they reached it with a skill of 25. No, 21. Or was it 100? So they're very, very quick. Like barely after they've been bred. Okay, now those are not too much of a problem. We could actually pull this off without, but let's send out the... Right, they don't have an auto here. Let's fill that layer with cruels. I wish I could set the retreat order for that from here, but I can't. Okay, you... Yeah, just get back. Maybe grab that quickly. And then go back. Okay. On the bright side, he is losing a lot of forces. Like, his military is barely above mine now. So, we should have him any moment now. Yeah, that's not a threat. Look at those guys. Those are recruits. They are freshly recruited guys. Would you stop notifying me? You know what, I was considering to leave him be, but I might as well not, you know. Nope. It's interesting that he requests a ceasefire as he is currently in the process of attacking my guys. Oh well. Could you join the fun? Okay. You get that. And you replace that plant. And those three are actually unnecessary. As much as I hate to say that, we don't need them. We can't use them. Not since that place has been taken over, and I don't think a new Egyptian city has been spawned. And let's face it, I can't build anything fortress-like here. Unless they figure out how to build like the Kashif, they won't be able to build there. Retreat, 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 retreat. Why do they feel it's a good idea to charge headfirst into an enemy lair? Or into an enemy army? On their own? It's really the Spitfires deal a lot of damage in a very short time, and that's... I think that's what makes them so annoying, and obviously also very, very strong. Although they are somewhat brittle, so you can defeat them quite fast. Oh, nice. The Zero Staff is doing its magic. Glad to see that's a thing. You are unnecessary, my friend. And you all go back. Why would he go and send Mitra on those plants? You can check all their vital stats anyway, without actually owning them or sending the great being there. Would you knock it off already? Yeah, destroy that, please. I'm mostly placing those wild litters so I don't get all the attack notifications. They're so annoying. But not having the auto notification is also a bad thing as well. Yeah, you can attack those if you want. I don't care. I do care about this herb. Would you stop that? I'll probably lose more. Sorry about that. And that. I'll probably lose way more soldiers now. Yeah. Siege weapons. Can't you see I'm busy? That's fine. That's probably gonna get it. You might want to not stand in the fires. Those do actually hurt if you stand right in them. Their hit detection is a bit dodgy. But if you stand in the fire, it will hurt your troops. Like, if they stand in the fire, it will hurt them, not if you stand in the fire, it will hurt them. So why is that thing not firing? Okay. Yeah, that thing is really recovering health quick. How much mood does he still have? We have now surpassed him. There is no need to tell me we're under attack. And also I will not have a ceasefire. For one very simple reason, there's only one kingdom left, so if we had a ceasefire now, there wouldn't be much point in it. Also, the projectiles can hardly miss. In fact, I'm not sure if they can miss at all. I think once they're actually fired, they are guaranteed to hit. So, yeah, you can't dodge them. If I send 2 layers worth of troops, they might actually be able to defeat pretty much anything that's thrown at them. So any defending forces will probably not be too much of a problem for them. Okay, you're the all high. Go and have somebody grab that. And kill that. Well, I say kill it, it's a cannon, it's technically not alive, so you can't destroy it already. Switch that around. Okay, time to have some fun here. Maybe the other guy's a bit stronger. Yeah, that looks a bit friendlier. If you have all purples, I think you can at least say you have a better chance at conquering a village. And I hope we don't lose another all high. It would be kind of silly to lose several of them. That's gonna hurt. That guy seems to have been... He might have been a hero. At least it was general. It was expensive. Although I think the special units all generally give you more money when you kill them. And some people argue that this is a bit too arcadey, like it lets you have too much benefit from killing stuff, but I think it's actually an okay mechanic. I mean, looting was quite a big thing in the olden days. Loot was pretty much one of the only reasons why some people would even go to fight, because there was a king or some sort of leader saying, okay, yeah, if you do that for me, if you go in and fight those guys for me, then I will have you, or you will get to keep their stuff, you get to keep their kit, you get to loot their homes maybe as well, or their cities. And I think I've seen a documentary on like one of the wars in Germany in the, I think, 16 or 1700s, and that was necessary now. And they said that sometimes the mercenaries were actually paid with that. They were told, okay, if you win this city and if you take this city, you get to loot it for 2 days. So that was the payment. it was a particularly rich city, you'd probably say, okay, yeah, that's worth it. We'll get a lot of money out of that. So we will fight for you there. The very idea of having like a loyal or an army sworn to a nation was pretty unusual at that time. So people would generally probably not be too inclined to do that and to follow that idea. You may actually see some of the old kings. I'm not sure if we have killed them already. This looks like it has been a king. Yeah. Okay, Theognis is a Greek hero if memory serves, so we may... Well, thanks for that. We may see him in a Greek, or near a Greek village. Town. I always use either city or village. I don't know why I never get to the word town. Even though towns was my first Let's Play. So it's not like I don't know the concept of town, which is somewhere between a village and a city. Did I forget to repair that? Apparently I did. Okay, you know the drill. Destroy all the workplaces, let rebellion commence. Okay. Now this place is fairly close to it. I think we can move on to that. Yeah, that Roman Square of Power won't do much favor. Who is that? Yeah, that's King Theognis. He's probably going to die. Everything goes according to plan. Theognis is going to die. Horribly, in fact. And maybe we can finally start taking on Tana. Even though it means we will lose our lovely, lovely reputation again. 71. It's going to take a massive dip. So I might actually wait or hold off with that until, I don't know, we don't have a war anymore. Right now I could actually just use my troops to fight that war, you know. Might actually be a good idea to do that. Also, this might drop the Roman Square of Power for the umpteenth time now. I actually stopped counting how many times we have. No, it would have been too hilarious if that would have been Pinochet and we'd just get the next royal kill. One of those has only 14. No? Is it one here? Apparently it was. Okay, you throw that over there. Alright, those guys are out here. No, don't attack that. Is that faster than we are? No. You know what? Screw it. It'll come out now. That is not Pinogem. I know for a fact Pinogem is... oh, it is. Alright, because it's not the hero. The hero Pinugem is actually an infanterist. And those heroes are not randomized, so if a hero is once a special unit, it will always be a special unit. If he is the infantry, then he is the infantry unit. That's just how this game works. And I think it's fine. Because you identify stuff very easily. Nidatia, by the way, is not a hero of the Egyptians as far as I know. So, well, there may have been a hero with that name. I don't know where they actually grabbed all those names from. But, at least as far as I can tell, there is no hero with that name in this game. I've already brought up the idea of modding lately as well. In the last live stream, one of the viewers, Stefan Roy, has actually stated that the source code was published a while ago. I don't know anything about coding, so well, I know very limited few things about coding, but still not even close to it enough to actually do it myself or mod something myself. So even knowing that, for example, the source code is available for modding at your leisure doesn't do much for me because I literally don't know how to mod. So yeah. Okay, there's military. 15. Just making sure I still have all the guys. And the acquired Roman's Scroll of Power again. This thing, I tell you, this Scroll of Power, I think it's actually cursed. Because everybody who has it is going to be killed very soon. Now, I wonder if kings will, or if people actually start getting superstitious. I mean, granted, it's obvious that the bearers of the scroll are all killed in battle, but still, it may eventually be considered a bad omen, right? Damn, we'd lose a lot of troops if we were to attack this this fort now. So we'll attack something else for now. Okay, the Almhigh is still... Well, he is mostly recovered. And these guys are keeping themselves busy with the plants. That's lovely. Got some gardening out there. Can we attack anything else? Could destroy that. Do we have any commanders here? Yes. No, we don't. Okay, you're the last commander in there. Right, actually hitting the actual plant that's on under my command. We will not be having a ceasefire, sir. Why are they all standing around like that? Stop standing around. Do something. We have stuff to kill. Okay, go and destroy that. Yeah, we're not moving there. Okay, this city is sorted out. Let's destroy that one. I think we're almost done, even though Mitra is now peeking into my buildings. I don't care about that. He's pretty good at singling out the weak ones there, though. Gotta give him that. Yeah, I think this troop wasn't quite ready for tackling a 4 yet. Okay, you attack that. No, don't attack that. We still won't attack cities. Even though we don't really have a slave town of that nationality, I prefer never to attack cities. It's just not good. Okay, ooh, we can send out the all high. Okay, this place is falling into disloyalty. And I think we'll hit about 4 hours again for this stream. So that's a good note to myself. Expect a stream to take about 4 hours, at least for Seven Kingdoms 2. I think that's my average time for a round. The 4 hour mark. Also look at all the resources we have. We could actually really try and enslave that town. Drop those stupid boots. This is why I hate this artifact. I mean, you saw this guy could have just gotten killed there. No. Drop those stupid boots. Actually, you pick them up. And get them somewhere away from here. Preferably very, very far away. Dump him in there. Not there, that's fine as well. Guys, oh, they're not attacking that market. Or did he just build a new one right on that same spot? He might have. I think I've shown you in one of the previous videos that the AI generally prefers the same spot, which can be exploited. It's also something I've shown you, how to exploit that. So do refer to those videos if you are interested, or yeah, you can't ask in the live chat because you don't use that. Okay, is that scroll of power somewhere left? No, I think he picked it up again. Okay, you keep destroying that. Brundisium. I do remember Caesar 3 had. I'm quite sure that was one of the cities you had to build in Caesar 3. If memory serves, which I'm hoping it does. Brundisium. I think it was one of the earlier ones, like the 3rd or 4th mission in there. Okay, Carthaginian scroll of power. And even a resource. So that's like the big disadvantage of this little strategy. If we would have access to civilians and we could use those and build here, we could actually build up a mine and then an economy which would be way better than both wars. I mean, the war-driven economy is not that great. It's just not doing very well for you. It's just not helping you very much. Because it is, after all, a war-driven economy. And if you don't have things to kill, if you don't kill enough stuff, or if you don't kill, like, once the enemy runs out of high-profile soldiers you can kill. I mean, the lower class units only give you so much, like 60 to 100 gold apiece. Then the war economy, you won't be looting that much, so that is bound to be weakening, and unless you can get another new, let's say, fresh opponent you can just loot the hell out of, you'll be in trouble if you have an economy that relies on that. Okay, let's have the All High do that. Let's give him some safe assignments for now. He's, after all, the third All High we had in this game. So, the enemy war machines really, I think at least in later, well, the second one was pretty much torn apart by those. I suppose he couldn't get to safety in time. Oh, sorry, my voice is horribly scratchy now. Dry throat. Should drink more. Okay, you. Destroy that. I think that order should be more loyal, but I'll just slap a badge on everyone. Do note that this costs a bit of money, but it's okay, we actually have that. Right now we have that, we can afford it. And while it's true that I can't bleed my enemy financially, I can, at the very least, make them waste their money and lose loyalty. Because that's something you can bleed them off, and you can also bleed them off their population, which is really what destroying those buildings is all about. It's about draining them of population, because that's what really weakens the kingdom. As I said, I do believe they actually gain food from the game. They're just given it by the code when they're out, but they aren't that well off. They will not be able to keep their population sustained, and they are not given population out of the void. So once the population dies, it is dead, and once it's all gone to rebellions, and once it's all gone to the army and got slaughtered there, it is gone for good. So it's a bit of a roguelike. There is permadeath, and it's very permanent. But this is not a hardcore RPG, so I'm actually happy with losing troops and with them not being able to be retrieved. I mean, while every unit has a name and a skill and all that stuff, and even kind of a leadership potential. I mean, some of the units obviously are more talented leaders than others. And I think that's a nice touch. It's a very nice touch. Okay, I think we're ready to take this on. There's all those forts here. I don't know where his king is currently. I would like to point out that we only use the little forest as a supplement to our defense in a rather sparing way. So I'm hoping that doesn't spawn. Oops, sorry about that. Too much hatred in you, and it's not because it is too lame. I knew it was necessary to win the game, and I'm not gonna lose this to the AI if it can be helped. It really seems to build those things here. Let's just not have that, okay? Yeah, thank you, no thank you. We'll just stand here. Or maybe here. or there. That's fine. Yeah, that's how fortresses are brought down. There will be no ceasefire, sir. You declared war, now live with it. I'm glad we actually got to make a comeback there. It did look a lot like we were done for when we lost the first all high and those two layers. I was about to say nests, but because in the German version they were called a nest, which is the same as the English version of the word. So it's not a big difference. 20 peasants in Zero Codon. Oh, that's that. Yeah. Oh wow, that's that is the kind of rebellion that would probably get you worried about your throne. As in, you may not have it for very long. Oh wow, that was a solid earthquake. Did I mention I hate those? I believe there's not too much positive, too many positive events you could get as a Frighten, actually. Ooh, there's a king. Haha, there was a king. Look at that, 400 gold for killing a king. That guy was barely able to hold a sword. Oh yeah, destroy that. Destroy that. And don't pick up those boots again. Oh wow, there went another king. And another king. And this is actually a bad move to have. Like, if you have kings and they constantly get killed, that is a surefire ticket for rebellions. Because that will tick off your citizens. They will lose loyalty every time the king dies. Like, all of them. And that means, yeah, you're very likely to get rebellions if you keep selecting a bunch of weak kings and maybe kings in the middle of a battlefield. Because those will very likely die. And yeah, we didn't do that, luckily, because we kind of did, but we managed to secure them and to get them into a safe place and to actually utilize them then. And as I said at Brighton, you kind of have to send out the All High because he's just such a powerful unit, and you can't really protect him either because as a human, as a frightened, you are very likely to be attacked. There we go. We lost a whole lot of soldiers there. We lost 124 frightens, which is a lot. I usually end up with no more than 2 digits here. But in this case, yeah, we lost a lot of soldiers. We lost several full squadrons, and I'm not too happy with that. I still like how it's like, yeah, enemy weapons destroyed and our weapons rendered obsolete. They weren't destroyed; they were rendered obsolete. Or buildings cleared, not destroyed, cleared. So cool. Also, something I've not mentioned the last one was if you do what I did and end up buying out the other kingdoms, then this will be a more or less massive hit to your economic score because this will be considered as a last expense, and it can be quite a sizable one. So if you will, for example, go the full, I think 100,000 gold, which you can offer for a kingdom, then you may end up in a bit of trouble because you may end up with no, not trouble, but you may end up with an economic score of 0 if it basically puts you into the negative income. That's just a thing you have to be aware of. So you basically trade off a bunch of score for for that kingdom or a quick end of the game. And in my case, it was mostly a quick end of the game. I could have just done war on them. I could have steamrolled them, but as I said, it was late. I kind of wanted to end the game. Okay, we will not continue to stay in the game. There we go. That should sort you out with Seven Kingdoms 2 for the next months to come. I mean, we may get back in the campaign. I may finish it. I may even stream it, but I'm not sure when I will do that. I think I'm pretty much done with the game for a while again. Still have to do stuff, so I will not do more 4-hour live streams. At least not until the weekend. Probably around Saturday. I will probably, yeah. I'll try to set up a streaming schedule now, and maybe we'll see where it goes. I'm not sure what I will stream then. It will not be Seven Kingdoms 2, I can guarantee you that. But yeah, I'm not sure what will be. There are quite a few options. I'm looking into quite a few games. I mean, I'm not playing as much as I would like to, because, you know, work and thesis and stuff. But I certainly... I mean, I'm not living in a cave in that regard. I'm looking at Let's Plays from other people. I'm keeping track of my own wish list, although I haven't bought any games lately. But yeah, I'm keeping track, and there are things that I would certainly like to play. I would like to put on channel. And I've also not done a beekeeping video in a while. I have an idea for one, but it will require some setup. So that is another thing that may be on the channel soon. Like only 1 or 2 videos, because there's not that much going on right now. The bees are pretty much getting ready for winter. And something I later realized is that I actually I seem to take on habits of the bees. Like every time I go to the supermarket and I don't buy that much stuff, I usually take my backpack, which is quite sizable, but not none of those enormous ones. It's like a medium-sized traveling backpack, and I use that every time I go to the supermarket. And I never buy more than I can fit in there. Or I rarely do. Like sometimes I buy like toilet paper which doesn't fit in there, or I sometimes try to stock up on something, especially if I want to cook or bake something more extravagant, which requires more ingredients. Or as I said, I just want to stock up on things. Then I'll actually have to bring a bag or buy a bag. But it's very rare. Anyway, every time I notice I'm buying less than I need for than that would fill my backpack, I end up filling it up with sugar. So I get like 2 to 3 kilograms on top, and right now I actually have about 12 kilograms of sugar in my in my apartment, which would be enough to feed a bee colony for, I think, a fair part of the winter. I might even get them through. And the weird thing is, I couldn't feed myself for more than 3 days. Like about every 2 days, I go to the supermarket and buy new stuff because I'm mostly out of it. So, just to show where my priorities are right now. I can feed a bee colony for months, and I can feed myself for 2 to 3 days. 4 days tops. With that, I think I can sign out of here. I hope you enjoyed this. This time, there will probably be like 1 ad. I don't know how many ads will be in my other stream, because as I said, this one has been seized by the guys that made the soundtrack to Seven Kingdoms 2. But in this one, I'll probably put 1 ad at the front, and that should be it. Although I should really look into doing more ad breaks, at least later on I can just add them on after the recording. So if you actually join those live, you'll only have 1 ad. If you don't, you'll have to live with more than 1. Anyway, I'm off for the night. Hope you enjoyed this, and especially if you watched later. do leave a comment if you want. Might have actually made some enemies with the Activision stuff that I said. But I think I may not have finished that thought, actually. Oh well. Yep, do leave a comment if you enjoyed it. Do leave a comment if you want to tell me what you would like me to stream, what you would like me um, to do on the channel. If you prefer the streams or the Let's Plays. I mean, I guess the streams have the advantage of, aside of you being able to yell at me almost live, that you are also able to, well, you see more. It's just more, because I think streaming for 15 minutes doesn't really make sense. Um, anyway, for the probably third time now, maybe fourth, I'm off on that. See you all soon. Bye.